stuff today, so feel free to ask questions and join in the conversation. Let's get started.
Okay, so what we're doing today is carrying on with a bit of Claude Code, and the idea is we've been working on this DevOps Dojo Learn by Fixing Broken Things tool. So the idea is I'd like to demonstrate today, one thing mainly is the Claude's integration with GitHub and how we can use that. So specifically with GitHub issues, which I think is really useful. So let's jump in.
All right, let's do it. I'm excited to see how this integration works. If anyone watching has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Let's dive in.
Okay, so in Claude, if you open up Claude Code and type / install GitHub app, this should, I'm going to install it here. We're probably going to need to authenticate with GitHub.
That seems pretty straightforward. It's always nice when the setup process is smooth. Once it's authenticated, it'll be interesting to see how it handles those GitHub issues and what features we can play around with. Let me know if you need any help along the way.
Okay, so we need our API key.
Yes, you'll likely need to generate a personal access token from your GitHub account with the right permissions. Once you have that token, you can plug it in and then everything should be good to go. Let me know if you run into any snags.
Okay, so on the tokens settings page, so I'm going to generate a new token. I'll do this off screen though. So
sounds good. Definitely a smart move to keep that part private. Just make sure to copy the token once you generate it, since you won't be able to see it again. And once you've got it, we can go ahead and continue with the integration.
So when you generate your token, you're going to generate a fine-grained token and give it access to the features you want to give it access to. I'm just going to give it kind of access to pretty much everything because I want Claude to be able to manage my GitHub account.
Got it. Just make sure to keep that token secure since it has broad access. Once you've got it all set up and plugged in, we can test it out and see how it all works together.
Okay, so I've got my token now, and so I'm just going to plug this in.
Awesome. Once you plug it in, we should be all set to see the integration in action. This is going to be really cool to see how it manages those GitHub issues and what kind of commands we can run. Let you know if everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, it seems like we're running into an error. It doesn't like the API key that I entered. We've got a 403 error. why is that?
A 403 error usually means that there's a permissions issue or the token might not have the right scopes enabled. You might want to double check that the token has the necessary permissions for managing issues and any other actions you're trying to do. If everything looks good there, it might be worth regenerating the token just to make sure everything's correct. Let me know if you need any help with that. No worries. These things happen. Troubleshooting is part of the process. Just take your time to double check the permissions and the scopes on the token, and I'm sure we'll get it sorted out in no time.
Okay, it's interesting. It seems like it's opened some pull request. So maybe I need to...
Oh, that's interesting indeed. It sounds like maybe the integration is partially working if it's interacting with your GitHub. You might want to check the pull request that was created and see what's in there. It could give us a clue about what permissions or actions are working correctly. Let me know what you find.
Okay, it looks like it's adding some kind of code review GitHub action integration. So let's...
Oh, that's pretty cool. It seems like it's trying to set up some automation for you. That could actually be really helpful once we get it all working smoothly. Let me know if you want to dive into that part or if you want to troubleshoot the token issue first. Either way, we'll get it sorted out.
Okay, you have had access. The issue is your GitHub token doesn't have the necessary scope to managing secrets for the GitHub app. I thought I did give it permissions. Let me check.
Got it. That makes sense. It's definitely worth double checking the scopes on the token to make sure it includes everything needed for managing secrets and any other integrations. Once you adjust those permissions, it should hopefully clear up that error. Let me know how it goes.
No, I can see secrets. It's got read and write access. So.
Okay, that sounds good. If you've got the right access set up, maybe try re-authenticating with the updated token and see if that resolves the issue. Sometimes it just takes a refresh or a re-authentication to get everything working smoothly. Fingers crossed that does the trick.
trying this GHauth login. Maybe we need to re-authenticate. Cancel that. GHauth login.
All right, let's give it a shot and see if that resolves it. Hopefully re-authenticating will refresh all the permissions and get everything working smoothly. Let me know how it goes once you've logged back in.
Going to regenerate my token.
Great, hopefully this new token does the trick. Once you plug it in, we can test everything again and see if we get a successful connection this time. I'm optimistic that we're almost there.
No, it's not working. Why is this? Claude Code action. Claude Code.
I'm sorry it's still giving you trouble. It might be worth double checking the specific permissions that the integration needs, or maybe looking at the documentation for the integration to make sure all the steps line up. If all else fails, sometimes a fresh start or reinstalling the integration can help. Let me know if you want to try any of those steps together.
You must be a repository owner to create secrets of variables and GitHub. You must have added access. Okay. GitHub. Navigate to the main page of the repository. Under your repository name, click settings tab, drop down, click settings. Okay. In the security section, select secrets and variables and click actions. Click the secrets tab. Okay.
You're definitely on the right track. It sounds like you're following the right steps to make sure the secrets and variables have the correct access. Once you've got that sorted out, everything should hopefully fall into place. Let me know if you run into any other issues or if there's anything else I can do to help.
Okay, we need to add the Anthropic API key to the repository secrets. Okay.
Got it. Once you add that Anthropic API key to the repository secrets, that should hopefully give Claude the access it needs. Just make sure to save it properly, and then we can test everything out again. Fingers crossed this will get everything running smoothly.
Okay, I've added that, so let's try it again to run the installation.
All right, let's give it another go. Hopefully everything will run smoothly this time now that the key is in place. Let me know how it goes, and if we get past that error, we'll be all set. No worries, Alan. We'll figure this out step by step. If there's any new error message or anything that comes up, just let me know and we can troubleshoot from there. We're definitely making progress.
You sound more confident than I do.
I get it. Tech can definitely be tricky sometimes, but you're doing great. We'll get this sorted out together, and soon it'll all be running smoothly. Just hang in there.
Let me unset the token.
Alright, that sounds like a good plan. Sometimes starting fresh with a new token can help clear things up. Once you generate a new one and set it, hopefully everything will work as expected. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, let's go back to this manual setup instruction, not managing.
Sure, let's walk through it step by step. First, you'll want to make sure that your token has all the necessary permissions, especially for managing secrets and any actions related to the GitHub integration. Then, after generating the new token, make sure to update it in the repository secrets and any relevant settings. If we follow each of these steps carefully, we should be able to get everything working smoothly.
Okay, so there's actually a Claude GitHub app which I think I need to install.
Oh, that could definitely be the missing piece. Installing the Claude GitHub app will likely streamline the integration and ensure everything works as intended. Once you have that installed and connected to your repository, it should make the whole process a lot smoother. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I think we need to create a GitHub action. Oh, is it already tried to do?
It sounds like we might be close to having everything set up. If the GitHub action has already tried to run, then it might just be a matter of making sure all the permissions and configurations are correct. Once everything is aligned, we can try running the action again, and hopefully it will all work seamlessly.
Yeah, that is the...
Take your time. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky to find all the settings and configurations, but you're doing great. If you need any help locating anything specific, just let me know. We'll get everything sorted out step by step.
It looks like I've already got the action, the Claude action in GitHub. So we've got our environment key set, also our repository key, as it should be. So in theory it should just work, right?
Yes, in theory, everything should be good to go now. Sometimes it just takes a moment for all the changes to sync up. If you run the action again, hopefully it'll work smoothly this time. If not, we can always take another look and see if there's anything else that needs a quick tweak.
Let's just try. I'm going to just try asking it to add a test issue to the repository. Maybe it does work.
That's a great idea. A simple test like that will definitely help us see if everything is working as it should. If the test issue pops up in the repository, then we'll know the integration is successful. Fingers crossed.
Still complaining about. Oh, I need to populate the GH token environment variable. Okay, so I need to add that as well.
Got it. That should definitely help. Once you set that GH token environment variable, everything should have the right permissions and access it needs. Once you've got that populated, I have a feeling it'll all work perfectly. Let me know how it goes.
Looks like there's quite a few ways of doing this. I did have it working a different way earlier, so I might just try and log in with GitHub and forget the...
That makes sense. If you had a method that worked before, it might be worth going back to that approach and just tweaking it a bit. Sometimes finding the best workflow takes a bit of trial and error. I'm sure you'll get it sorted out, and I'll be here if you need any more help along the way.
test issue to GitHub.
That's perfect. Once you attempt to add that test issue, we'll see if it successfully shows up in your repository. If it does, that means everything is working as it should. Fingers crossed, and let me know the outcome.
Yeah, that's working now. So I just had to set my GH token, so export that, and then it works. So went around the houses a bit there. I did want to get the Claude. I don't know why the normal way of doing it. Well, yeah, the recommended method is to use that / command with Claude, but it doesn't work. Anyway, that seems to work. So let's have a look now. So we can create issues. Issues. Yep. Cool.
That's awesome. I'm so glad it worked out in the end. Sometimes it does take a bit of trial and error, but now that you've got it running, you can create issues seamlessly. If you run into anything else or want to try out more features, just let me know. Great job getting it all set up.
So now I've got that working, I'd like to get back to this project, maybe actually create some issues and then get Claude to try and fix some things. So let's create some issues, and then actually maybe we'll do that. We'll create some issues and then we'll maybe tomorrow I'll get Claude to actually resolve some of the issues from GitHub. So I think the good thing about doing this is that by adding issues, it's a bit more structured, doing proper PRs and things like that. So yeah, I think this is a better way of using Claude, kind of how we work in the real world.
Absolutely, that's a fantastic approach. It's definitely more reflective of real world workflows, and it keeps everything organized and structured. Plus, having Claude help resolve issues is a great way to streamline the process. I'm excited to see how it all plays out for you, and I'm here if you need any help along the way.
Okay, I'm going to stop ChatGPT now because it's getting a little bit annoying. So yeah, so let's create some issues. Some of the issues I wanted to fix was on the app. Let me come back to my repository. Yeah. So on the app, these scenarios don't actually work yet. So we need to get try and get these working. So we'll describe what the issue is and add that to our issue log. So currently the scenario for Kubernetes does not actually work. So let's see if we can fix that, please. Actually, I should have asked to add it to let me stop that for a minute. Okay. So I want you to look into the issues and then add all these to GitHub first. Okay. So now it's gonna look for the issues. We're in planning mode at the moment, so it won't actually make any changes. And then add add those issues to GitHub. In fact, I think what we'll do, we'll get Claude to maybe look at the rest of the project and help identify some issues. And one of the things I was thinking about, which would be kind of cool as an experiment, is to add a feedback feature on the front end of the site, and then have that automatically populate into GitHub issues, and then have Claude automatically kind of triage these issues. It's kind of like a self kind of healing system, or it can automatically look into the issues and maybe review them, and then it can ask you if you want to take action on them. But I think it would be an interesting experiment to try that and see how it goes. It'll probably be a complete disaster, but I am curious, just as an experiment, to see if it's possible. And I know it's probably possible, but yeah, just maybe we'll have a go at that at some point. Yeah, kind of cool. Obviously, the whole point of just exploring this, experimenting, you wouldn't do this in production. I wouldn't let Claude Code run wild on a production environment. This is just experimenting. So, as DevOps engineers, we need to kind of understand these tools that are in the wild, and how we can utilize them, but also how we can maybe show our developers how to use them as well, and how we can bring these into the enterprise in a safe way. So some of the other things I need to look at are things like guardrails, and yeah, other things like single sign-on. Yeah, making sure that, and like a self-service Claude Code would be kind of cool. So. Okay, so it looks like it's creating issues. Well, oh no, it's not our issues. Yeah, it's already creating issues in the backlog. That's kind of cool. Okay, it looks like it's finished creating issues. So okay. So it's created the issues, and I'm just going to see if it can actually fix these issues now. I mean, you might be thinking, what's the point of actually creating GitHub issues at all? Obviously, you don't have to do that. You could just let Claude run wild. And in a personal project, I think it probably doesn't matter. But if you start building any kind of serious applications, then I think, having some sort of sense of order and structure is actually going to help build those features out. Okay, so it's just created the issues. It's not actually going to head and fix them yet. Has it finished doing that? Okay. So, I mean, in the real world, what we would be doing is we've created these issues during stand-up. We might discuss these issues to see what's and get these assigned. And yeah, and I think as we think more about how these AI coding tools, they can look through things, they can look at the issues, but we as the human need to be able to say, well, is this a real issue? Is it creating false positives? So I think part of the challenge is actually dealing with the kind of the noise that it could potentially generate. I mean, it can create so much more documentation, but we then need to read that documentation and approve it. So it's found these issues. I'm just going to kind of let it have a go at fixing these things itself. Okay. So fix the issues one at a time. would actually like to get this platform finished so we can get on to actually doing some of the more DevOps type tasks of using the platform to help train and learn things. One of the things I'm currently doing is doing my CKA. So I'd actually like to have an app that I can use to train for the CKA. There are some apps, there are some sort of mobile apps, but actually I don't think there are any mobile apps. I did have a look, but most of them seem a bit rubbish, so I think it'd be quite nice to have something on the go, you know, when to train for the CKA exam. And I've also got to do I've scheduled to do, I bought the bundle, so you can do the CKA, the CKS and the CCAD. So I bought them all, I need to get them done. I'm really behind, so just, you know, it's just finding the time to do it all. Maybe now Claude Code can do all of our work. Maybe I'll get time to do it. Who knows? Okay. While we're waiting, I many years ago I picked up this book. I think I was at a conference. This is a continuous delivery, which kind of it kind of set me on a bit of a journey for learning about DevOps and automation and CI/CD pipelines and everything. Back before it was a kind of cool thing. I'm not even sure if it's cool now, to be honest with you. But I think this is David Farley. I think he's got a YouTube channel, DevOps something. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure they've got a DevOps channel these days. I have to remember what it's called. If I remember, I'll link it in the show notes. But yeah, continuous delivery. I can't actually remember where I was at the time I picked it up. I was at, I think they were giving away free books many years ago. It was at some sort of tech meetup near Old Street, I think. I'm not sure if Claude knows that we've deployed it to Netify, so I'm wondering how it's going to be testing these things. And I'm not actually sure if Netify would allow us to run this thing. So that's one of the concerns I've got, that it might be doing all these builds, but this is all in code spaces. I think we might have to get a proper, I don't know, I haven't really explored Netify too much, just kind of pinged it out there. So we might need to deploy this onto some other service or a proper server somewhere. Because it obviously needs to be able to spin up multiple. I think what it's doing is spinning up Docker for our sandbox environments or scenarios. Yeah, so okay, built the images. I'm not entirely confident this is going to work, because when we deploy it, it might. I think it's doing its testing here, but yeah, let's see. How's it finished? Right. Okay. Has it actually closed out issues, or? No, it doesn't automatically close them because you can't really test it. As you push the code, has it already done that? Looks like we reached our Opus 4 limit. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So set up some. That didn't work. Okay. Yeah, I should have really created some branches and have it raise PR for me. But let's see if we deploy this, if it works now. I don't think it's all, as it might have automatically fixed it up, I don't know. No, it's broken now. No, I think we need to redeploy it. I thought it might be automatic. But I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work. My project. Oh, so it is auto publishing. Has it auto? Oh, 48 seconds ago. Just project deploy it again without the cache, maybe. Just to make sure. I would have assumed to see some sort of changes. No, not a chance. Okay, so we need to figure out a way of making this thing work. So, and this is working, is it? Back to the drawing board. Right, so we are deploying to Netify. I don't think it's working. sure notify platform would allow Docker scenarios. Spell that right. How does this work? Do we need to deploy somewhere else? It'd help if I could actually write English. Yeah, so yeah, obviously Netlify is a static hosting platform, and I think I actually said that in the Netlify log. I'd reread that. Yeah, I think this is right. So we're going to have to deploy this into a proper environment. So yeah, so maybe Amazon ECS, Cloud Run, DigitalOcean. I've already got a Linode account. I'm wondering if I could deploy it there. Oh, there's some other ones here, so it's suggesting some alternatives, front end to deploy to Netlify. So that could still deploy there. Split architecture, it's an interesting idea. I've never heard of Railway or Render. DigitalOcean, okay. Production grade, I think, obviously this is like I'm only just starting out this little project. I want to keep it as lightweight as possible. I wonder, maybe Railway? Never tried that before. Well, let's ask. It's low cost. This is a starter project with 0 funding, which one is best for this situation? No users yet. So I'm probably thinking Vercel maybe. Oh, Railway, okay. Let's give it a go, because I've never tried Railway, so let's use that. Let's try Railway. I guess I'm going to have to go sign up for an account, unless it's not going to do it for me, is it? Just check Railway while it's doing that. a month. Oh, that's too expensive. We've got free. Cannot. It will ban mirrors, user bots, crypto miners. The NT. Oh, the NT version. Okay, we're not doing that. Anything illegal. I think we're good. Oh, I've got 30 days for free, have I? Oh, that's handy. Okay. Well, thank you. That's quite useful. I didn't know that. Railway. What do we need? I think we just. Okay. Create a new project. Learn. What is Claude doing? Oh, right, so it's doing a split deployment. Not sure if I want to do that. Why would we do that? Well, let's try it anyway. I'm not sure if I like this idea of having a split environment. It probably makes sense if it can all go in railway, then we can just use that. Build has failed. Well, no, let's let Claude do its thing. Right. Update railways environment variable. Okay. Go to Railway app, sign up, log in, create a project. Yeah. Set your repository but point to the back end folder. Okay. Do this. Can I deploy an actual point to an actual folder? Yeah, so let's look at the back end folder. Okay. I think we need to update some code here. Yeah, so that should be updated. Let's go to the back end. We don't have yet. I've got a feeling this is overcomplicating things, deploying to 2 different environments. Right, so this is failing. Let's copy this. Let's go back to Claude Code. So we're getting an error. Rebuild. we did that. So different options it's given us. The issue is that the railway is trying to build the entire project, including the front end, instead of the back end. Okay, yeah. Alright, I think we should deploy the whole app to railway instead. Okay, let's change this then. Let's just deploy the whole thing. To railway. Things simple. So I'm not really following the right rules here. We should be creating GitHub issues. And right now we're just kind of falling into a bit of kind of vibe coding. It's not really what I wanted to demonstrate, but we did show GitHub issues earlier, so hey ho. I think one of the important things to do is get good documentation. What I tend to do is, let's say you've done like a load of kind of vibe coding like this, get Claude to produce very concise README files. So that's that can be useful. Okay, push the code. Okay, let's try again now. I need to change this. Oops. Done it now. The deployment has failed. Why has it failed this time? Failed build image. Check build logs. Okay. Okay, it's running out of memory. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a serious application we're trying to build here, I guess, with like scenarios and things. So, I mean, I was kind of maybe a bit optimistic to think it would work on something like this, but I might end up slinging it on my my Linode server or some other, maybe DigitalOcean or something like that. Just get some sort of instance set up, maybe. Mind you, if we do that, it'll give us a chance to do some IAC. We're kind of keeping it simple at the moment, but yeah, maybe we'll get into some Terraform code. But probably not today. Has it actually fixed it? Let's see. Maybe it's switched to a Node 18 Slim. Smaller base image, use less memory. Okay. Let's see. It says it's going to completely resolve the memory limit error. Let's see. So it seems quite confident in itself. I wouldn't be that confident. Yeah. You're a bit overconfident. We've got a different error now. So maybe give it one more go and then I'll call it a day. Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, yeah, it's not going to work on this railway. We'll have to find an alternative hosting solution. Docker is not available at runtime, maybe. Yeah, I don't think railway is really designed for what we're trying to do here. I think it's designed for very lightweight apps, like little starter projects and things. And yeah, running Docker containers within the service probably is not within the. I'm not sure if it's going to be within Railway's capabilities. Still worth a shot, isn't it? Okay. Guaranteed deployment this time. He's very confident, isn't he? Okay, let's have another look. No. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's try one more time. And then don't think it's got Dockers in it. Railway deploy. Okay. Last time. I think we're starting to go in a bit of. I mean, it's coming up with different ideas. And sometimes you just got to persevere. You know, this is troubleshooting, right? This is kind of what we iterate, try something, it doesn't work, try it again, try it, it doesn't work, and this is what kind of development looks like, really. Generally, I wouldn't be using Railway. I've never used it before, so there might be some unexpected things. It should work flawlessly now, apparently. I don't think so. I've got a different error though. Or is that the same? No, it's different. Okay. Persevere. I've never heard of Nix packs. What is Nix packs? Nix packs? Okay. Why are we using Nix packs? we're getting a little bit off track now. It's a bit like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, I think, with what we're trying to do here. I think what I'll do, yeah, if this last one doesn't work, we'll try and deploy it to a regular kind of EC2 instance or something, just see if it works on a regular server, and then maybe try some of these other services. I might try Vercel. It might be a way. I think we might have a similar issue. Okay, let's go a bit further. It's doing something. Didn't error straight away. That's good news. I'll still be surprised if it works. Yeah. Okay. It's a little bit like it's a little bit like spinning the roulette wheel, you know, see if you get lucky. So we try duck and nip hacks. What else is it going to try now? Okay, remove. So it's giving us different options. Option 1. I'm still using Docker, it's right. It's not picked up the changes. Force railway to use nip packs. Option 2. Create a new service. It seems to be cached on Docker mode. Okay, maybe it is cached. Yeah, it could be an issue. Use render. Okay, it's got different support. I've never really used render before, so maybe we could try that. Yeah, but not today. So, well, tell you what, I'm going to try this tomorrow. Leave it there. I'll try this render.com, see what Claude, you know. I mean, this is all about learning, exploring, so why not give that a go? Give us an opportunity to learn about render as well. I mean, it's not the kind of traditional infrastructure which I would be deploying to, if I'm honest with you. But you know, it's all about context and what you're doing, really. If you're like a small startup and cost is an issue, and you're just trying something out, then why not use something like one of these services, you know, and then you scale up as you go. I sometimes think, you know, a lot of startups, they'll build like a Kubernetes cluster right out of the box because they think, well, that's what everyone else does, so, you know, but the problem of doing that is it then gives you a lot more, it just costs more generally, and it's harder to maintain as well. So if you can get away with not using Kubernetes, I would highly recommend doing that. So we'll keep exploring this, but I think we'll leave it there for now. Learned a few things, so hope you all have a good evening. Bye bye, see you next time.